Well, hello and welcome to I Love Gay today. And we're in LA today with the gayest podcast ever. How are you guys?
So far, so good.
As good as we can be right now, yeah.
I figured since you were the gayest podcast ever, I would come out with the gayest shirt ever.
And you succeeded.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, thank you. Thank you very much. No, we just thought we'd touch on, you guys have a podcast, and I love everything that I've explored and read about kind of what you do. And I don't know, just tell us a little bit about it and how you guys got started and what the inspiration was and so forth.
So we have a podcast called Gayest Episode Ever. It is a podcast about LGBT-focused episodes of classic sitcoms. Yeah. And it started because we are roommates and friends, and we both grew up watching sitcoms in the 80s and 90s. We love sitcoms, and they informed a lot about our lives, and we talk about them all the time. Yeah. And eventually we realized that this could be an idea. And when I Googled to see if anyone else is already talking about this, there was not a podcast already doing this. So yeah, we claimed it.
Yeah, I mean, these are conversations that probably a lot of LGBT folks are having anyway. And, you know, Drew used to be a journalist and I'm a screenwriter. And so we can come at it from those different perspectives. He definitely loves digging into the history of it. Yeah. And I just did it as the craft of writing. And so here we are.
And we still kind of be a journalist a little bit.
A little bit. Yeah. He's a little bit of a journalist.
But you guys get to jump into, I mean, you go into I Love Lucy and you've got a lot going on with the Golden Girls, I think, too, right?
Oh, yeah.
That's like the canonical gay sitcom, basically. Yeah.
And but no, so how long have you been doing it for?
We started about 2 years ago. Oh, we're going into this is our third year. We'll be starting our fourth year in the springtime, which is crazy to think about. Yeah.
We started doing it as like seasons of the show. We test ran with 10 episodes, and I think our second season was maybe 20.
Mm-hmm.
And then our third season started beginning of this year. Then quarantine happened, and so we just kept going and just didn't stop.
It's one long season.
But is the business model primarily gaining listeners and subscribers to whether you're on Spotify or Apple and so forth?
We're on all the platforms. Basically, if you can find a podcast, if you have a podcast app on your phone, we're on there. If we're not, tell us and we'll be on there. But I think we've got them all right now. So yeah, subscribers is like the biggest currency for podcasts beyond advertising dollars and Patreon.
Okay. And what is and so that's the kind of the main business model, as at least for now, is asking people to kind of not just join on Patreon, but then that way they kind of get to have special opportunities, special clips or something.
We give all of our episodes go up a week early on Patreon, so you get you get that. Then also we have a bonus podcast called the Shelley Long Cast, which is about the cinematic works of Shelley Long that is exclusive to Patreon.
Wow. And is that all jumping into Cheers, or is there more?
It's more about her film work after Cheers, because that's so key to sort of who she is as an actress and her role on Cheers. And for me, that was she was one of the reasons I wanted to do this podcast, is because there was an episode of Cheers in the first season that did a gay episode and did it well. And she was a big part of that. And so since she was sort of the inspiration for me, I thought we should pay her some respect.
But that's it, isn't it? I mean, I'm old enough where I can, back then they would always touch on it, and it was always such a unique way. In fact, there were shows, not only Three's Company and so forth, but others that really kind of tried to make light of it in almost every episode. And you guys kind of bring that to the forefront, I think, with a more modern lens.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like there are definitely shows that just use gay representation as a joke, or as a one-off gag, and there are others that we discovered that try to do it justice and give characters agenda and give the issue some actual thought, not always through the lens that we would do it in modern times. Obviously terminology has changed and a lot of viewpoints have changed, but there's definitely a divide between shows that just wanted to laugh and shows that actually had the heart of it right.
Yeah. I mean, that's how I've seen it, that it gets it's a touchy subject, and I probably won't dive too much into it or I'll get in trouble, but it's that whole idea as far as that, what was okay to say or what was okay to, or how it was depicted then. Definitely things have evolved over the last 20, 30, 40 years plus. And yet sometimes some folks, they want to go back and kind of rewrite things or just remove it altogether. I don't know. You guys have any opinions on that?
Yeah, we try to be thoughtful about it. We tried to handicap for the year it came out. And at the top of a lot of episodes, I'll try to talk about maybe what was going on in pop culture, but also American history, to give you some context for what it was like to actually sort of be a gay person at this point in time.
Yeah.
And it's fine to point out that, like, hey, this is something that, like, we wouldn't necessarily say today, but also no one thought it was a problem back then.
No. The name of the show escaped me. It was very popular, but I think it was 70s, but where they both dressed up as women. What was that called? Do you guys remember?
Buddies with Tom Hanks.
Bosom Buddies. Yes, of course. Because it's like top of mind, but yeah, that one there was just, I don't think that would fly today.
No, it definitely wouldn't. And we actually probably should pick an episode of that show to do one day. That's one we have not covered yet.
Because there's so much content you can dive into.
Every episode.
Yeah. But what about when it comes to sponsorship? Have you had any companies embrace you on that topic?
This past year, we have been working with someone who was trying to land us a sponsor, and it looked like something was going to come together at the beginning of this year, but COVID happened, and that has not come to pass. So we've been without a sponsor this whole year, actually, which is a bummer. But also, our podcast is done completely in-house. We record in this studio, and I edit and produce the entire thing myself. So we are able to. It's not costing us too much to be without a sponsor this year, at least. That's one upside of this.
But we're open.
That is part of the future plan. So no, it all makes sense, and so I love it. Like I said, I've heard a few of your episodes, and what we're going to do is from this show, we're going to link to not only all your website, your Twitter, your Instagram, and so forth, so that people can find you no matter where you're at.
Oh, thank you. That's great.
Perfect.
Yeah. No, I love it. And thanks for taking a few moments just to share a little of your story of what you guys are up to here with our audience, and look forward to being able to connect in the real world.
Oh, thanks for having us.
Absolutely. All right. Take care.
Have a good day.
Bye.